Hello and welcome to another part of Chelsea Challenge here on the channel with me, Mr. Grand 2. As I said, we are back again with another video. This time we're going to go through everything that's happened in Season 5, the 2023-2024 season of the game after we left off last time. We're going to start off on the finances screen just so we don't give anything else away. Not as much money as last year, which will probably give you an indication for what we did in the transfer market. But before we go through our transfers and then what happened, just a reminder, make sure you check out my new series, Careering Onwards, where we started at Cambridge United. We have recently in the Save Move Club, so I won't give it away if you are interested in spoilers, but you can see it if you look at the thumbnail anyway. But the save's going really well. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think make sure you check it out. If you enjoyed this, make sure you check it out because I think you might like it too. Now, obviously, we left off last season with us finishing in 5th place, narrowly missing out on automatic Champions League qualification, but the incredibly dramatic 2-0 extra time win against Real Madrid, which we can no longer look at, was what got the job done. Well, it was a very dramatic way to end what was a pretty terrible season overall, and especially the end of the season. So we definitely needed to splash the cash to, bring the squad back up to shape. And that's exactly what we did. So Diogo Jota, well, let's be honest, his season at the club was an unmitigated disaster, literally satanic as well. 6.66 average rating, no goals, no assists in the Premier League, a total of 3 goals overall, and well, he got 4 assists for Portugal, but none for us. He might have done well the following season, I don't know, but I thought just get rid of him. We only managed to get rid of him on loan to Real Madrid, and all they were paying were his wages, but at least they took him off our hands for the year. He's had a brilliant season in Madrid, loving life in Spain, 9 goals, 6 assists, 7.55 average rating. Why couldn't you do that for us? A few other youngsters went out on loan, including Archie Shaw, and didn't really do much. But in terms of the sales of players who were big parts of the save, Emerson has moved on. He went to Inter Milan for £20 million. I mean, he's 30 years old now, 23 million. Obviously a great servant of the club, was a very solid, reliable, dependable left-back for most of the save before eventually losing his place to Aaron Martin. And yeah, just good to get a bit of cash for him before his contract expired. And then 30 million for Marco Asensio. He's gone to AC Milan to directly replace a player we've signed from AC Milan, who you'll see in a minute. It's frustrating because he should have been a god, really, shouldn't he? Look at these technicals, unbelievable. But for whatever reason, he wasn't awful, but it just never really worked out as much as I'd like. 4 assists, 4 goals. That's not bad. But he just kind of, 7 assists then, 2 and 2. It wasn't great, was it? And much like Jota, he has gone to AC Milan, and in 14 games he's scored 5 goals, got 6 assists, 7.41 average rating. I mean, looking at that, you think, why has he not played more than 14 games? Because he's done phenomenally well. He did get injured in December, broke his leg, but that's why he's not played as much. But he's done better in that half a season than he did in his entire time with us, really. He did put in some very important things, such as in Champions League finals, but just not very consistent. Christopher Ayer has also gone as well. He went to Manchester United, which was a little bit unfortunate. Basically, he was upset that we didn't win the Premier League, even though we won the Champions League, and he told me that would be fine. So I can't deal with that level of indecisiveness. He's gone, £46 million, done pretty well with Man United. It's a little bit sad to lose him, but I think we've definitely done better and improved without him. And then the big departure, £57 million, which I think is not too bad at all for a player who is 30. Mateo Kovacic has been sold to Barcelona, which is a little bit another one of those Spanish rivalries. A former Real Madrid player. He has also done very well for them. 9 assists for him. He was never really a starter for us. He couldn't get past Jorginho or Kante or Mount, or Zaniolo when we brought him in. So good player, good to get a bit of cash for him. So we brought in 162 million. We spent a disgustingly large amount. This guy was free though. I just want to highlight him. Joe Rosario. He spent the season on loan at Marseille. Looks really good as a winger. Really, really developed very well. Technically excellent. I think actually Christian Pulisic will probably be leaving the club in the summer, and so Rosario and Luis Angeveri will probably come into the team. Yeah, so he went on loan to Marseille. They paid a pretty good fee for him. Done relatively well, 4 goals for him. Yeah, attributes-wise, looks really nice. But also, he's kind of gone away a bit now, but he had a silver beard. He's 20 years old. Right then, incoming, because we're getting serious now. Ben Chilwell was signed for £23.5 million from a relegated Leicester City. He has definitely been an upgrade on Emerson. He's an upgrade on Aaron Martin as well. He's been brilliant, just really consistent. Not quite world class. He says he's elite. I think he could be world class. Physically amazing, technically amazing. I mean, let's just look at his average rating: 7.16, goal, got some assists. Just Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable. Only missed 1 league match all season. Played basically every game. He has done very well. Also from a relegated club, picking up the bargains, just like Liverpool with Andy Robertson. Chris Mepham joins us for £39 million from Bournemouth, and he has been, well, if Chilwell's Mr. Consistent, I don't know what we can use for this, because he is consistency personified. Absolutely just one of the most dependable, reliable centre-backs I have ever had on an FM save. He has been absolutely brilliant for us. He came very highly recommended by our scouts. He had all the necessary attributes in the key places. Not necessarily amazing for anything, although 16 concentration, 16 heading, 17 composure, 17 anticipation, really nice. 16 jumping reach as well. He bosses the air. But the thing is, he's been so reliable. It's 7.17. I don't think really tells enough of the story for how dependable and reliable he's been. Last season, Lisandro Martinez was really quite poor. It was one of the biggest reasons why we didn't do very well. But this season, Chris Mepham has come in and just made the spot his own. He's been a fantastic rock at the back alongside Tomori. You just don't have to worry about the defence anymore. Just don't have to worry about the defence. This is probably the key one. Tackles success ratio, 94%. It's very good. So that was the defence sorted. We actually now have, that means we have a full English back four, as you'll see in a minute, in Chilwell, Mepham, Tomori and James. But we need to sort out the problem of the left wing. We sold Asensio, we loaned out Diogo Jota, and we went big. We went very big to replace them. Leroy Sané, formerly of Manchester City, has spent the last 2 years at AC Milan. He cost us £72 million. And while his average rating isn't very good, I think he's been a massive improvement on Asensio. Has played basically every game, although mostly off the bench for us. 4 goals in the league is not crazy compared to Asensio, but the thing is that he has his overall contribution has been excellent. 15 goals in total, 5 assists. He has saved us in some important games. Technically still good, physically still very good. He's only 28. He's still got plenty to offer for us. But that's actually the third highest fee we've paid, because we've spent a horrifyingly large amount on one player in particular. Not Frank Kessie. He's relatively modest by comparison. £74 million, also from AC Milan. We gave AC Milan a lot of cash. Basically, I wanted to replace Kante and Jorginho. They're both still here, although Kante is going to be leaving this summer, unfortunately. But we wanted to replace them and upgrade them if possible. And that's a very difficult task because they're 2 of the best midfielders in the world. But Frank Kessie, to replace N'Golo Kante in the box-to-box role, there's no one else better. He's world-class. He's fantastic. He's like Kante if he was taller and just had more attacking output, really. Physically amazing. Brilliant strength, brilliant stamina, brilliant balance. Work rate's good. Not as good as Kante, but he's got 20 work rate, which is nuts. But yeah, really good. Mentals, lots and lots of good attributes there. But then the thing that I really like is defensively amazing, but then the dribbling of 14, finishing of 13, long shots of 13 as well. He gives us an attacking output that Kante, I mean, Kante did get a few goals for sure, and he's got a few goals this season as well. I mean, we wouldn't have done as well as we've done if we didn't have N'Golo Kante, which is why I'm a bit disappointed and sad that he's leaving. We'll talk about that in a second. But Frank Kessie, more than worthy replacement. He's done very, very, very well, getting so many goals, 12 goals for him overall. Some really vital long-range strikes from him. He has been money well spent. In fact, unlike last summer, I would say that every single signing we've made has been money well spent. Every single one of them has lived up to expectations, probably surpassed them. Every one of them has been brilliant. And, well, none more so than this man. The man who is our record signing, he is a world record signing as well for a horrifying, you can see his value, that's not even close to it, £200 million. I mean, we had it to spend, we had lots of money to spend, we hadn't really spent that much money, and when we made so much money from our Champions League runs, we did have it, and well, I wanted to replace Jorginho, I wanted to upgrade Jorginho. There's no one else that was even comparable. Sandro Tonali, you might have heard of him. He was good last year. He's even better this year. He's the best midfielder on the game. He's probably the best player in the game, other than Kylian Mbappe, who, well, and we nearly signed him. We'll talk about that in a second too. But yeah, he's fantastic. There's no weakness in him. Defensively amazing. Passing vision of 17. He's only 24. It's only going to get better. He's been phenomenal for us. He's been a revelation. He's been well, godly is the best way to describe him. He's only 24. I'll say it again. He by the time he's 30, it's like some scientists took Andrea Pirlo and were like, how can we make this man even better? Well, that's what you get. You get Sandro Tonali. Obviously, it's enough money to potentially bail out a small country, but 7.35 average rating, 5 assists, but his passing, his control of a game, his dictating of the play is sensational. Dictates tempo. He really does dictate the tempo. It's pretty special to watch. But the thing is, when you want to sign the best midfielder on the game, and the best midfielder on the game has spent 3 seasons playing really well at Manchester City, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And, well, the fact that we got him at all is just testament to my ability to tap players up, I guess. But 200 million is a lot, but it was worth it. So briefly then, before we touch on the results, N'Golo Kante is leaving us in the summer. He's agreed to join PSG on a free. I did offer him a new contract, which was more than he has accepted from the Parisians. But I guess he wants to go back home. He is declining. He's definitely declining. He's 33. But his contribution this season, not starting every game because we've got Kessie, but when he's come in, I mean, look at his average rating, way better than last year, because he's not been playing every single game. He's just been coming off the bench, or he's been covering when we needed him to. He's been really good. So it's a shame to see him go, but well, he's definitely been a valued servant at the club. That is for sure. And then briefly as well, Kylian Mbappe has agreed to join Real Madrid. I've never seen this before. The transfer window's not open, but Madrid just fully went in and went to sign him. 126 million is what they're going to pay for him. I bidded that as well because we had the cash, and they accepted it. But it's Football Manager, so Football Manager is it's not the most intelligent game ever, is it? I offered him as much money as the board would let me offer him. It was up to £525,000 a week, a massive signing on fee as well. Kept trying, but he in the end, his agent was not happy and walked away, rejecting the offer for him. He's agreed to join Real Madrid. I'm not sure we can see it, but I don't think we can. But basically, he's agreed to join Real Madrid for considerably less. I think it's £425,000 a week. So less than he's on at PSG, and less than we offered him, because that makes sense. I guess that makes sense. I wouldn't mind it so much if he accepted our contract offer and then gone to Madrid, but the fact is that he refused. His agent refused the highest possible contract offer we could make, and then he's just gone and accepted an offer that's even lower than that from Real Madrid. Baffling. But anyway, we're not signing Mbappe, but there we are. Who needs him? Right then, well, you will see after all of that we are, of course, still as Chelsea manager. We left off having won the Champions League, but having a disaster of a league campaign. The board set us the expectation. They gave us the money. They wanted us to win the Premier League. And I think we all, even though we'd won the Champions League 3 times, if we didn't win the Premier League, the fact is the board would have sacked us. And we haven't been sacked yet. So either I'm about to be sacked, or we won the Premier League. Let's see which one it is. Yep, we won. We won the Premier League. And, well, 6 points was the margin ahead of Liverpool. It was a lot closer than that, as we'll see in a minute. Compared to where we were last season, obviously finishing 5th, it was a disaster. This year, much improved. We won 28 games, drew 5, lost 5, and luckily Liverpool lost a few more, and that is how we ended up getting the job done. Manchester United coming in third, Arsenal recovering in fourth, Man City struggling, Spurs, but it's the usual top six, Newcastle finishing in seventh, getting into the Euro Cup 2. Geordies will be thrilled. Otherwise, more or less what you would expect. But yes, we are top of the pile. We got the job done. I mean, I deserve to be sacked if I spent 400 million quid and we didn't win the Premier League. But yeah, it was a little bit touch and go, as we'll see in a second. Let's have a look at this. So we can't click on it anymore, but we began in typical style by losing 1-0 to Leeds United. This save, we just lose on the opening day. We always do. But anyway, yeah, Leeds again. I hate Leeds. We keep losing to Leeds, but we lost 1-0 to Leeds. It wasn't deserved, but that's what happened. I was very worried at that point, but a few days later, we won the Super Cup. I love the Super Cup. We always win the Super Cup. 3-1 against Real Sociedad, Kessie, Tomori, and Haaland all scoring a goal. Brilliant stuff. Love the Super Cup. And then we got our first Premier League win, Erling Haaland with a scuffed penalty in a very, very, very undeserving win. But I don't care, because that is what lit the spark of the fire that was our season. And as you can see, from that point on, we were pretty much unstoppable, nearly unstoppable. Constant wins in the Premier League. We won every single Premier League game from then on throughout the entirety of September, the entirety of October, and the entirety of December. 100% record in the Premier League. Champions League, as you can see, is a bit sketchy. 0-0 with Anderlecht, 1-1 with Celtic, 0-0 with Celtic, 1-0 defeat to Benfica. Premier League was going amazingly well. The Champions League, obviously, we had we reached the final of the Champions League every single season up to this point. Were we going to reach the Champions League final this season? Well, no, we didn't, because while our league form was phenomenal, well, we won every single game in the league other than the opening day of the season up to this point. We got knocked out of the Champions League. I was playing a fully rotated side in all these games because I wanted to focus on the league. I thought they'd get the job done, but clearly I was wrong. And we ended up finishing third and getting knocked out. I still don't really know why. We're level on points with Celtic. We've got a higher goal difference. We've got more goals scored. And our head-to-head record, well, we drew both games. I think what it is because Celtic scored a goal in the match at Stamford Bridge. They've technically gone through on away goals. I don't know. I mean, I think that's what it means. Yeah, goal difference. But it says goal difference is the first thing, and our goal difference and goals scored are better than them, which I don't understand. But I think on away goals scored, they've gone through, which is slightly confusing, but yeah, disappointing. But that did, of course, mean we're in the Europa League. We'll see what happened in the Europa League in a minute. But anyway, yeah, so we'd won every match by the end of November. December, much the same picture. We won every single Premier League match until the final game where we drew 2-2 with Wolves, which is very disappointing. Willy Bolly equalising in the 92nd minute for a ridiculously undeserved point for Wolves. But we were still going really strong. We were still playing really, really well. We were through in the League Cup as well. January, much the same picture. We beat Manchester City. It was fantastic. We had to go through a replay in the FA Cup, but we went into the League Cup final by beating Brentford. We kept winning. So by the end of January, we had not lost in the Premier League, apart from on the opening day of the season with a defeat to Leeds. In fact, we have won every single Premier League game apart from that game and the draw with Wolves. It's been pretty sensational up to this point. But, well, nothing lasts forever. We entered February and we lost 2-0 to Manchester City. We then lost 3-1 to Manchester United and then 2-0 to West Bromwich Albion, because that makes complete sense. At this point, we had about a 10-point lead, but that lead now had gone with Liverpool chasing us close at hand. But then Leeds, of all teams, Leeds United. I hate Leeds. We keep losing to Leeds, but we didn't lose to Leeds this time. We beat them 2-1 and steadied the ship. Europa League, we played Porto and we managed to beat them. And then we got back to winning ways in the league. We beat Wolves. We beat Manchester United in the League Cup final on penalties after they equalised in the 93rd minute, which again was very annoying. I'd have been very annoyed if we hadn't have won it, but win it we did. We won the League Cup again. I love the League Cup. It's great. Who cares about the FA Cup? the League Cup is where it's at. But saying that, we did go through in the FA Cup, beating Middlesbrough comfortably, beat Spurs, we beat Lille in the Europa League, we beat Huddersfield in the FA Cup. It was going strong. League form faltered a little bit. We had about like 2-3 games in hand on Liverpool at this point. So they kind of were constantly top of the league, but we could have overtaken them. But every opportunity we had to overtake them, we faltered. We were 2-0 up against Southampton. We binned it off. Rafael Leao, a man who I feel has scored against me on every FM save I've ever done, with 2 goals, including a late goal, the 92nd minute goal, that was clearly offside, but apparently counted anyway. A 1-1 with Arsenal. Leroy Sané rescuing us in the 93rd minute was very good. We beat Newcastle. We got past Rangers in the Europa League quarter-final. But then a 0-0 with Crystal Palace. They were bottom of the league. Was disappointing. We did beat Arsenal in the league after they went ahead in the first minute. A 0-0 with Burnley was disappointing. I thought we might choke. We might throw it away. But we kept on going. We beat Manchester United in the Europa League semi-final. We beat Watford. We beat Aston Villa, and then it was pretty much done after we beat West Ham 2-0. Kessie and Zaniolo getting the goals. And that left us in a situation. We had 2 games left, so did Liverpool. But the first game of that 2-game special was between us and them. And if we beat them, we'd have won the league. We didn't beat them, of course. It was a 2-0 defeat after a blistering start for them. So it meant that on the final day of the season, they played Manchester United. We played Everton. They're bitter rivals, of course, and the team who stopped us qualifying for the Champions League last season. It was a very simple situation, though. Basically, we just needed to equal or better their result. The only situation that would have resulted in us not winning the league was if they beat Manchester United and we lost to Everton. And there wasn't any such drama. We won 1-0. Erling Haaland scoring before half-time. Alexander Isak scored for Manchester United in the second half to seal the job, and we won the Premier League for the first time in this save and the first time in 7 years. So Premier League, very nice. Super Cup, love it. Carabao Cup as well, fantastic. It's a treble. We didn't win the FA Cup. We got knocked out of the semi-final by Arsenal. That was disappointing. And obviously we're out of the Champions League, but we are through to the Europa League final, where we will play Valencia, and we've not played it yet. We're going to play it today. We'll play it in the episode. This is the team we've been using for most of the season. Then Kepa in goal, of course, back to his best. Chilwell, Mepham, Tomori and James. The entirely British back line have been pretty sensational. Tonali, Kessie, Zaniolo, the midfield, 2/3 Italian still, and then a man who's played in Italy as well, so very Italian influenced. Hudson-Odoi has been sensational on the left-hand side. Some of the goals he's scored have been phenomenal. Chiesa on the right has been not great, but he's kind of consistently fine, so he stayed out there. And then Erling Haaland up top. We've not really mentioned him too much. Tammy Abraham has been woeful once again when he's been called upon, and will probably be leaving in the summer because he's pretty unhappy. But we don't need him anymore because Erling Haaland has been phenomenal. 18 goals in the Premier League for him again, 4 assists, but 34 overall. Some of his goal scoring record in the Europa League has been nuts, but 34 overall, still one more game for him to go. But we won the Premier League on the final day. It is fantastic. The board are thrilled. We're into the Hall of Fame, the European Hall of Fame. Where are we? Are we down? We're down the bottom. There you go, down the bottom. Maybe we'll beat that with careering onwards at some point if we can keep up the success in that one. So overall, then Haaland winning top goal scorer, as would be really expected given how well he's done. Reece James wins Player of the Year as well. Young Player of the Year, which is fantastic. Golden Glove for Kepa. Goal of the season for Callum Hudson-Odoi against Newcastle. We're going to see this one. I hoped this one would win. It was very, very good. This was kind of the turning point, really, towards the end of the season that made me think we might actually do it, because we were 1-0 up. It looked like they were going to potentially score, and then Hudson-Odoi got the ball in our half and then did this. I mean, yeah, it was a pretty special goal, and I think it's deserving of the goal of the season. Golden Glove is Kepa. Once again, he's pretty good at winning that one. And Manager of the Year is us. Team of the year, the entire defence, the entire back five is in there, Kessie and Haaland too. Liverpool win the FA Cup in the end, so they don't go away empty-handed. But anyway, we are going to play the Europa League final live. I mean, we're not going to do the whole game because the video is going to be quite long, but I will bring you the goals as they go in. Hopefully goals for us. Ben Chilwell, unfortunately, got himself a little injury. He will be out for 1 to 4 days, but obviously that will mean he misses this because it's the week before a cup final, so obviously your players are going to get injured. So disappointing you can't see the full standard first 11 from this season in action, but Aaron Martin more than capable as a deputy. Well, we're the overwhelming favourites for this one, so obviously Valencia score first and will probably win. Ferran Torres from a corner, defence just standing there, no one really paying attention. I mean, half time, that was really the only highlight anyway. We have just not turned up. I think they're kind of not bothered really. It's not the Champions League, so they're not particularly concerned, but it'd be nice to try and win this, please. We won another trophy, would be good. And straight away, they do respond. Callum Hudson-Odoi continuing his fine season. Assist from Frank Kessie. Puts it across, and Hudson-Odoi there. Dinked finish, past the goalkeeper. 1-1. Well, it wouldn't be a major European final without it going to extra time, would it? That's just, we're addicted to that one. It's 1-1 at full time. Let's go to extra time. We're going to bring on the big guns. N'Golo Kante, his final game for the club, is going to come on. Or Leroy Sané with a free kick here, which has cracked the top of the bar. Very unfortunate not to go in. Oh, but they have a free kick, and their free kick goes in. Koulibaly off the top of the bar. It's his first goal of the season. 15 minutes to save ourselves. I think this is probably going to be that. We didn't really look... Haven't ever really looked at it today, and Valencia coming forward again. Although Haaland, who's done nothing all game, robs the defence, goes the wrong way, and that was probably the best chance we've had. But maybe not all over. Maybe not all over. Luis Sancheveri, who's probably going to be getting a more regular role next season with Pulisic going, has certainly, well, he's staking a claim for it there. Firing past Silerson, 2-2. And because we just can't have nice things, it goes to penalties. Again, I hate penalties. This is so boring. I like that one though. Rodrigo's penalty saved. Erling Haaland to give us the advantage. Obviously not. I mean, they've scored theirs. Kessie missed his. And, well, okay. The hope has died, really, hasn't it, at this point? We're not going to stick for the whole thing. At least we've scored one. It's 2-1. And they're gonna win in a second. Right, they need to score this one, and then they will win. To be honest, they probably deserve it. Haaland and Kessie both have phenomenal penalty-taking skills, but they missed theirs. And there we go. We rescue it late on, don't we? But it's for nothing. A penalty shootout defeat. To be fair, we do actually probably win them more often than not, all things considered, apart from in the Club World Cup final, but... The Europa League is added to the list of finals we've been in and not won. Overall, though, it's been a very good season. I think we have to say that. Player of the season, once again, it's Reece James. He's got the award locked down. He's our best player by far. Hudson-Odoi, obviously, goal of the season. Tonali gets signing of the season, which is good justification for the absurd price tag. And young player of the season is Reece James as well. Obviously, Champions League disappointing to lose the Europa League in the end, but Premier League win, that's what it's all about. Really. And what do the board want next season? Let's have a look. They want us to... There's a lot of stuff there. They want us to challenge for the Premier League. So they don't even want us to win it, which is nice. They're happy that we won it now. They don't necessarily want us to win. And in terms of transfer budget, we have got £196 million. Not as much as last year, but not too bad at all. We are, of course, also moving in to, we're not moving into, it's still Stamford Bridge. We are getting our newly expanded Stamford Bridge. That should be completed on the 19th of July, which will be very exciting. Atletico Madrid steal our Champions League crown, but we still get quite a lot of money for it anyway. But that is going to be that. Overall, a very successful season, and we will see what the next season brings when I can get through the summer and have a look at the squad. And we've got a lot of squad players that are unhappy and will want to leave. Christensen, Abraham, Ampadu and potentially Martinez as well. We will need to replace them, but the first 11 is looking pretty strong. Probably Chiesa, potentially could be upgraded. That's what I wanted to sign Mbappe for, but that's the main area where I'd like to get somebody else in, and then he can become the sort of backup. And then, I mean, well, I don't know, maybe Ancheveri can step up. We'll have to wait and see. But that is going to be the end of that. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well so you don't miss any other parts of this one, and indeed careering onwards as well. Make sure you check that out too. Thank you very much for watching again, and I will see you next time.